Does it help to put the year in there, in the title? Does it give you a better search? Are people searching for that, or are they just searching for Chicago postcards? Welcome back to SMPostcards. Today, got a weird postcard. I don't sell a lot of these, but I do see them, and the sell-through rate is a little different, more than I thought it would be. But right down here's the agenda. Go through the what's sold real quick. Sold 10 cards. Sales been up and down. Then a special postcard today, special topic, Birthstone Postcards. I'm sure you've seen the older ones that have the birthstones on them and stuff like that. So I wanted to do a deeper dive into those and just see what they're all about. Because I do see them in lots and stuff like that, but I didn't really know what to do with them. And a lot of times they just go up as average. But I don't know if I'll make a change. We'll see. Then I put a poll out every Saturday. This one was, if you put a year in your listing title, do you? And I had different things about how people get years, and I had a lot of comments on different ways people do things. They use a postmark, the manufacturer date, different things like that. And does it really help? Does it matter if you put the year in there? That's what I wanted to find out. Then I got some viewer comments at the end. I got about 3 short comments to go over and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the what's sold here. And we'll talk about some of the cards I sold, and I'll explain a couple things that about each card or whatever real quick, what they sold for. First one was a print of, who is this? Bunker Hill aircraft carrier. You can see all the planes on deck. This is a semi-gloss front, matte back, and they usually put the matte on the back because of the ink will dry better. And that's a 6x4 size, and that's sold for $4.75. Next one is, got some weird ones today. Saranac and Upper Saranac Lake Adirondacks. This is a, I would say it's a divided back more than era than white border on there, but that's what it is, unposted, and it says 1924. Next one's a Crumb card. That sold for $4.75. Hampton Roads Coliseum, Hampton, Virginia. Nice looking crumb card of a Coliseum. Looks like a cake or something. It's unposted, $4.75. Astronaut in space. So astronaut F. Story Musgrave moves along the handrails of the Challenger. So he's walking along the handrails. The NASA postcard, chrome, unposted, $4.75. Next one, it was two naval ship covers sold. This is USS New, N-E-W, DD-818, 1947, and this is what they're buying. They're buying that stamp from the ship. It was an envelope, a self-addressed stamp envelope they sent to the ship to get the stamp on there, and that's what the naval ship covers are. And this is USS New, 1947, and here's the other one. I don't want to mess these up. I always end up making a mess, and I gotta clean it up after the video to ship them. USS New, DD-818, another 1947, and that's the stamp right there. These sold for $4.75 a piece, so a total of $9.50 for 2 of those envelopes. Next Navy ship is the USS Lake Champlain CV-39 aircraft carrier. This is a photo on photo paper, and right back there is all the information that I use for the listing, right on there. And that sold for $8, and this will go with a stamp and a label because I have them in the military category for photos, and they seem to do better there. So I sent them out with stamp and label, never had a problem with it. Main Street, Mammoth, Illinois. This is the linen Main Street. Didn't get a comps, didn't bring a lot. $4.75. Nice linen card of a Main Street in Mammoth, Illinois. $4.75. Then I sold these 2 cards. One is the USS Wasp. See all the airplanes on there? It's a publisher card that they bought, the club that I bought these from bought, and that's the Wasp. And then this is the John R. Pierce, USS John R. Pierce, DD-753. And you can see the number right on the boat there. Another publisher card, standard size card. Both of those sold for $9.60. So that's all it sold, was 10 cards. It's been really up and down in the last few months. Some days 5 cards, some days 15 cards, some days 20 cards, some days 6 cards. there's really no trend right now. It's just up and down, up and down. So I'm kind of just hanging with 10 cards, 11 cards. My yearly date for number of cards sold is down to 12 cards. My goal is 16, but I dropped 2 cards after I did my quarterly numbers. I went down to cards. But what's nice is I'm getting a little better average sale price, so my dollars are still in my range. It's still moving up. It's kind of staying steady a little bit, but it's still moving up. And I'm still being very picky about buying cards. So that's where I'm at this year. And I am doing over $80 a day for sure, average for the year. But in the last couple months, it's been up and down. So you want to be careful of that right now. Don't buy. Watch what you buy. Watch what you spend. Cut here and there. Save for the bad days from the good days, because you don't know what's coming down. A lot of variables this year. You got the election year, economy, different things. The number of cards on eBay has went up. There's just so many variables that you just can't compete with everything. So you want to manage what you can. Control what you can. But for the numbers, 10 cards, $54.47 for the day. Average sale price, $5.45. But I did sell a lot of 100 cards in Ko-Fi. That's that little store. There's a link in the description. I'll put it right down here also. I have about 30 lots, mostly 25, 30 lots all the time. Depends on how many they buy. For $35, plus I throw in a pack of sleeves if you buy it, plus shipping. But if you're a member, at $3 or $4 level in the store, you get them for 40% off. So this Robert got the 100 pack of postcards for $21 plus shipping, and in there I put pictures of front of all the cards and collages, so you can kind of see what you're buying as well. And those have been pretty good. But got $21 for that. Added to the $54.57. I made $75.47 for the day. But by the time you take out expenses and everything like that, you know what you end up with. But I don't use Ko-Fi in my regular budget stuff. That's extra for the resellers and supports the channel and stuff. Different type of thing there. But that's what's sold. How are you guys doing with sales lately? Has it been up and down like I'm seeing a little bit? It's out of the norm. Special topic. Birthstone Postcards. I'm going to show you some examples there, and I found the best chart I could of birthstones. There were some out there that had different ones on there. I'm not a jewelry guy. I'm not a birthstone guy. So I think I got the best chart possible. Let me know if I don't, or if there's why they changed some of the stones. It's kind of weird. But I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about birthstones. I got one fact here. I'm going to show you the chart I got of birthstones, and then we'll get into the sell-through rate and prices of these things and what we can do with them if you see them. Here we go. The history of birthstones is full of legends and ancient beliefs. Thousands of years ago, people believed that gemstones had special powers and could bring luck, protection, and healing to those who wore them. The idea of wearing a specific gemstone based on the months of one's birth dates back to the ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, who thought that each stone was associated with different astrological signs and could influence a person's destiny. The concept of birthstones became more widespread during the Roman era. They believed that each stone was connected to the 12 zodiac signs and wore them as a form of protection and good fortune. Over time, the idea of wearing a specific gemstone based on one's birth month evolved, with different cultures assigning different stones to each month based on various traditions, belief, and folklore. Maybe that's why we see different stones for each month. In 1912, the American National Association of Jewelers standardized the list of birthstones that we commonly use today. They created a list of gemstones to represent each month, which has been widely accepted ever since. However, variations, alternative birthstones list still exist. And I think that's what I ran into. Adding to the rich tapestry of beliefs and traditions surrounding these precious gems. Birthstone postcards emerged as a fun way to celebrate birthdays and the unique qualities of each month's birthstones. These colorful postcards often featured beautiful illustrations or photographs of gemstones associated with each month, along with fun facts or messages about the special meanings behind them. People love sending and receiving these postcards, birthday greetings, or collectibles, adding a touch of sparkle and magic to their celebrations. Whether it's a shimmering ruby for July or a sparkling diamond for April, Birthstone Postcards captured a timeless fascination with these precious gems and the traditions they represent. So that's probably why I found all these different charts, and they were kind of different. So I picked the best one I could. Fact: in the Middle Ages, people often wore all 12 birthstones, rotating them monthly for good fortune. The practice was based on the belief that each stone's power was heightened during its corresponding month, offering extra protection and blessings to the wearer throughout the year. Now here's round birthstone chart. I figure it's the best I could display, but like in January is cyan, amethyst, February aquamarine, for March crystal, you get it, and then you go all the way down to emerald in May, and then turquoise in December. These were birthstones. Mine would be peridot in August, and then my wife's would be turquoise in December, my daughter's amethyst. So that's how it works. You get a birthstone on there. So those were all the stones. Fine, but there was different charts. Do they sell? So I look at sell-through rate a lot, just to see what's moving. Are these worth picking up? Are they going to sit in my boxes? What's the chance of these selling? I use a little chart, got low, average, high, and very high. Low ones I try not to pick up. I work between the 4 and 10% area. That's what I like to work in. When I do that, I find some of the very highs. Didn't find a lot of high-priced Birthstone postcards. But I went out there and I calculate sell-through rate, very simple. Sold divided by listed times 100 gives you a nice percent. I round up or down. So I put postcard Birthstone. That's what I see most of out there. 56 were sold, 182 listed. Gives you a 31% sell-through rate? That was weird. So I did it a few times, and that's what eBay was showing me. In the last 90 days, what's moved through the system is 31%. So that's up in the very high. But personally, I don't have a lot of experience with them, so I'm not for sure. So I went out there and I bumped up against other postcards just to see. Postcard jewelry, 6%, and postcard diamond, 4%. That 31% is an outlier. Have you guys sold any of Birthstone things? So that's where you put your gut in here and say, do these really sell at that? You'd have to do a little bit more dig down. I would put them in the average to high, maybe up there, but I would have to do a little bit more legwork on there. But this is one of those outliers that you're going to have to dig a little bit more. I don't see a lot of them. Like I said, I'll pick them up in lots, but they're older cards that I'll see them on, and you'll see some. You saw some examples of those. When you get a sell-through rate that's kind of just an outlier, you want to go in there and use your gut and just say, okay, I'm going to leave this a little lower than that because there's not a lot out there. The denominators can change that thing. I'm going to leave it about high with the knowledge that they might sell a little bit better. But that's what I do with sell-through rate. Once in a while you'll get those. It's not right or wrong. It just gives you another tool to look at to say, will they sell before the other ones? Right now, I'd say Birthstones might sell before a choo-choo train or an airplane, is what it's telling me. But when I went out and looked at pricing, I usually do like extreme pricing, the real high one watermark and then the average watermark. I didn't find any really high priced ones of Birthstone postcards on there, but I did find a bunch of these. So the first one is a birthday postcard, Emerald Tulip, is keyword stuff title, $13 from 2024 this year. All of these are pretty current in the last 2 years or so. Then you get a souvenir one from 1907, it has all the stones on there. Sold on July 4th of 2023, $13. Then the vintage embossed winch postcard Birthstone, $13, $12.50, 2023. So if you look at those right there, they're selling $10 to $13, $10 to $15. So not too bad. They're above average, but these are the higher ones. I've seen a lot of average ones too. People probably didn't price them right or something. But they are selling a little higher, but they're not way up there. I didn't find any of those $40, $50 ones. Then you get into Birthstone Topaz one for $10 in February this year. Then in May of this year, they sold the same one that's right above it for $9.90, and on my chart here when I say above it, but $9.90 sold for $10. The other one sold for $13. So they're still in the fray there. And then you got one for $8.49 with the August Paradigm Birthstone. So we're still in the, I would say, $10 to $15 range. Not too bad. So the prices are coming out. Solid rate's a little off the chart. These are kind of waking me up a little bit. These aren't as bad as I thought. Then let's take one more look. Here's that other card again. Sold for $7. So we had the little picture of the horseshoe type, or all the stones in a horseshoe type display. First one was 13, second one was 10, and then this one was 7. $7 to $10 for that one. Then you got a birthday with a birthstone on there. So getting a theme here, birthday postcards with birthstones. So you want to put those two together. When you see birthday cards with got a birthstone on them, might give you a better chance of selling them. April birthday, $7. Then this card again, the horseshoe displayed one with all the stones, sold for $7. So $7 to $10 for that one. So what did I get out of this? They're a little bit above average price. They go on birthday cards with the birthstone. So I put birthday birthstone together. If I see those together, it's a $10 to $15 card, hopefully. So that's the pricing and the sell-through rate. This is one of those cards that you like to gamble. This is what I would do. If you found a box and they had a good set of Birthstone Postcards collection in there, I wouldn't pass it up. Because what's telling me here, they're going to sell a little higher average price, and the sell-through rate's a little bit higher too. So you're going to do a little bit better with these, is what the data's telling me. What actual experience, I don't have enough of them to say. But this gives me an idea now when I go to shows, because these aren't, what I see in the boxes, these are quarter box stuff. People don't price these up as much. So this might be one of those areas where I can slide in and grab a bunch of them pretty cheap and see what I can do with them. Experiment. That's how you do business on postcards. You look at stuff and you say, hey, there might be something here, let me go experiment. Data is just one piece of the tool. Each one of these is just a piece of the puzzle to figure out if this card's worth picking up or not. Sometimes you just gamble, and then you learn stuff like this. Birthdays, birthstones, $7 to $10, $10 to $15. Who knew? I didn't. Unlock the secrets of your treasures with WorthPoint Price Guide. In seconds, discover the value of your collectibles, postcards, antiques, and unique finds. With their comprehensive database, you'll never wonder about the worth of your items again. From vintage comics to rare jewelry, they got you covered. Don't let uncertainty hold you back. Empower yourself with WorthPoint and make informed decisions. Start exploring today and uncover the hidden gems in your collection. To see more information and sign up for a free trial, follow the link in the video description below. Now we're going to get into this poll. And this poll was if you put a year in the title of your postcard. So in the title, I see a lot of Postcard Space, Bridge, Chicago, Illinois, 1909. Does it help to put the year in there in the title? Does it give you a better search? Are people searching for that, or are they just searching for Chicago postcards and stuff in there? I don't put the year in most of my cards. I will if it's a real photo, because I can use the stamp box to give me close to that date and stuff like that. But I wanted to know what people use that do it, and see if it's something I should start doing or stop doing or whatever. I'm on the fence on stuff like that because I'm not a keyword stuffer, but some of that stuff can help, some of it don't. What do you guys think of? And by doing this polls, it gives me that. So I give them options. I said, if you put a year in the title of your postcard listing, do you use the year on the postcard? Use the year on the postmark on the postcard. 73% use the postmark. Now the postmark on the back of a card, like this card here, the postmark really tells me one thing. This card was made before that postmark was put on there. So that gives me, it was before that. It's kind of normal in the postcard world. They date it by the postmark. But I can take this card, I could buy this in 1920, my great-great-great-grandmother put it in a drawer, and 10 years later decide to use it. So is it the date of the postmark you put in the title, or the date of the card manufactured? So the next one was use the year manufactured. A lot of times they don't have that on postcards, but if they do, 11% of people use that. Base it on clues from the postcard image. If you really dig into it, you can see when the statue was erected. You can look at the arrows, the white borders, the linen. You can really dig down. But on a $4 to $5 postcard, am I really going to go that deep? I can't spend that much time on these types of postcards. I might be missing something once in a while, but over average I don't. So it depends on the card. If I had a real photo and I was a researcher, yeah, that's what they do. And I have a lot of those in the store. People can go take it the extra mile that I don't. I have to stop somewhere. I can't do it all. I can't sit here for an hour with one postcard. It's just not me. I would rather get my margin out of it and let somebody else do that that's better at it than I am. So, but you can take clues. Flags, how many stars on there? Do they have air conditioners in the window? The dress, is there cars and horses together? You know, is that store still there? You know, stuff like that. And then I do not put years in my postcard titles. Most of the time that I'm very selective when I do that. Then other was 6%. So does it really help on there? What do you think on there with the year? So I got some comments here. I got 4 comments I pulled out. Kay Hollins says, my cards are all unposted, so I use the manufacturer date. However, if I would list a posted one, I'd use the post date. So it's postmark is normally what I see. Thanks, Kay. Then 3 LS, I am able to determine the years. If I'm able to determine the years manufactured, that's what I include. If not, I try to figure out the decade in which it was manufactured and enter circa 1960. There are times that I do not enter a year because I don't have the space. Thanks for your videos. Yeah, I don't think on this linen card I need to put a date when it was manufactured, because I can look at my little handy dandy chart here, and I do have these in the Ko-Fi store. You can download them for free. It gives you all the era dates, because I can't remember dates. The linen was 1930 to 1945 approximately. So if I put 1930 in there, but most people buying postcards kind of know that to a point. They know that, you know, the divided back, undivided backs are older and stuff. So are we spending too much time on that? Or what do you think on a linen card? I'm not going to put a date for that card, especially, you know, unless it's in the title, like an expo says 1915 County Fair or something. Yeah, I'd put it in there and stuff like that. But was that card made in 1915? It's a little bit of work for a linen card. Still on the fence with that. Thanks. And 3 Willow says, never put posted 1914 or posted in whatever year. It will not help it to sell. Trust me. I trust you, 3. I really do. If the title of the postcard has a year, it goes in the title of the listing. Never put item specifics in the title. The more item specifics you select down below, the better. Leave the title for relevant search queries. Last year, while initially listing postcards and including posted 1907 title, they never sold. Changed the title, and Viola sold it in less than a week. So he's right there. He's made a decision. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm putting in item specifics. That's it. And then I did some, and they sold. So he's made a decision. I'm at the point where yes, no, but I don't think I'm going to do it on regular average cards. Real photo postcards, higher end cards, if I have any, if I do the research, spend the time doing it, I would do that. And I can use the stamp boxes, get me close, circa 1930, circa 1940, so and stuff like that. Unless it's, like he said, it's in the date. So you can't do it all. You got to figure out where you can stop and start. Is it really going to help you? What is the reward for doing that? Is what I always think. Thanks, Trey. Then Wandering Ghoul, Zombie. I found a couple of websites that have Dexter Press and Kirktyke serial number databases. Those are cool. You can take the card, like I think this is probably a Kirktyke, or say this was. I could take this, and sometimes they have this little number down in the corner here. You can go out and put that in a database and get the year that it was made. Unless there's a copyright date on a card, that's the only time I put a date in the title. Yeah, so he said this is as far as I'll go. This is as far. There, I don't think the rewards there as much as people think, because if I go through the stack of cards, that's a linen card era, that's a chrome era, that's a chrome era, that's a divided back era, that's a linen era, that's a divided back era. This was a white border. We all know the dates. If you get into postcards, you need to learn your eras. You know, you got undivided back, divided back, white border, linen, chrome, continental. You know those things in that order. That's how people buy postcards a lot. Or they buy it by the subject. They just want the picture on the card. Collectors will get more into it. If you put the wrong date on a card and a collector gets it, some of those collectors can be stupid about it and just chastise you for it. I get messages all the time, I got the wrong town or something like that. And I'm just be humble and I'll say, hey, thanks, I fixed it. Don't know how I screwed that up, thank you. But they come sometimes, they get real untactful, crass, you know, at you. And I don't think that's their intention sometimes, but then sometimes it is. You messed this up, you need to fix this. It's like the eBay police coming at you. I just write back, thank you, I'll fix. Let them do the work for me. So I screwed one up. I'm not going to go look at 50,000 cards. I got it. I read it wrong. You know, leave me alone. But I did fix it, and I'll reply back, thanks for all your help, I fixed it, don't know how I screwed it up, Mark, with kind of never hear another word from them. So if anybody tries to correct your cards, don't get upset about it. Just figure it's extra help that you don't have to pay for. If they took the time to write a message to you saying it was not an Arizona mountain, it was a Utah mountain, it helps you. They're the one that took the time to do it. It takes you 2 seconds to go and fix that. So I don't mind those messages, because I do screw up on that. But putting dates in the title, I'm still on the fence. I'm probably going to keep doing what I'm doing. Postmark is usually the one that people look at the most, even buyers of them. Collectors are going to get down to the manufacturer and stuff like that, your hardcore people. But are you targeting that 5% of collectors, or are you targeting the 95% of the people buying it because it's got a cool building on it, or I live there, or I worked in that building, or I've been there? That's who I target. I target the 90% of the people buying it for some nostalgia reason, the 10% of the collectors. I'm probably not the guy you buy it for, but I bet you can go through my store, the collectors, and find some cards from a really good price, because I just didn't dig down as much as I should, because I just can't do it all. What do you guys think? Thanks. That's the poll. So now we're in the viewer comments. We're doing a pretty good clip today. It's a pretty fast video. I don't think people will mind it during the summer. But viewer comments come from email and YouTube. I'm not responding to messages in eBay anymore. I'm just getting conversations going, and eBay keeps sending me messages, you can't say that or whatever. So I've had to stop that. So please leave it in the comments on YouTube, or send me an email at contact@SMPostcards.com, and I'll get back to you. 4 comments today. First one is from Biff Buffalo. This was about shipping. You know, different things about shipping. What is your handling time? 1, 2, 3, 4 day poll I put out. He says, I promised 2 days shipping, but hate did you ship it yet? Question so much that I try my very best to clear out all my orders on Friday. You got to do the work eventually, so you might as well do it early if you're able. Waiting until Monday just because you can is only going to encourage that annoying question. Has it shipped yet? Procrastination might feel good on a Friday, but it's still the same amount of work on a Monday. Yeah, just keep up with the pile as you're selling. You don't have to ship it right away when it sells. Let them soak for a little bit, a day, and send it next day. I have 1 day shipping. I ship 6 days a week. I do it on Sunday if I could. Sometimes I go to the post office twice a day because I go out. It's only 10 minutes away. On the holidays, like July 4th and stuff like that, land on a Thursday. Wednesday, I waited till 4 o'clock to bring everything to the post office. And that way I get that 1 extra day to get it in there. A lot of people complain about the mail, eBay standard envelope, and all this stuff, but they're shipping 2-3 times a week, that's it. Get that extra day. If you can get an extra day by getting it out Saturday morning, they're still open in the back end of post office, moving trucks around. It'll get there a day early, or it'll give it that extra day. Especially with the post office, that's the way I think. I have full control of shipping. But he's right. The work's going to be there. Shipping is the last thing of the transaction. It's everything you've done is to get that packed up into the buyer. As soon as it gets to the buyer, they're okay with it, you're done, move on. They're not your friends. They're just a transaction. Yeah, they're customers, but I'm not making friends. Some people I still talk to and I've got to know pretty well, but not, you want more postcards? I got more postcards. You want to buy 2 postcards? Here it is in the mail. You don't like it? Send it back. It's a transaction. And then when it's finally done, you move on. Everything you did, you sourced them, you listed them, scanned them, you packed them, that's probably the most important thing to me, is getting everything out as quickly as possible. And I'm retired, so I have time. Life does get in the way. If you have a job around the field and you can't do it, different circumstances. But I think majority of people can ship faster than how they have it set. And some people do a very good job with it. So it's just that if you want the competition, if you're not doing it, your competition is. Thanks, Beth. Carlos, I'll leave it at that. So you only use the semi-rigid card holders for postcards worth $20 plus, and the regular plastic sleeves for average cards. Okay, he's talking about these rigid mailers. I use the semi-rigid ones, and then he's talking about the mylar sleeves, the penny sleeves or whatever. These are used for higher end cards only for me. I do not put these, there's no reason to put this $4 to $6 card in one of those. You're going to pay up on it. These can get expensive, and plus it adds weight. So all your margins going away. You're not going to get any extra sales by doing special stuff in your packaging and stuff like that. I found, and I went down to the lowest level, and I still, feedback, about the only thing I look at feedback is shipping. If you're not shipping right, or too much or too little, you're going to notice that in feedback. Because postcard people are the first ones to tell you in feedback that it wasn't shipped correctly. So I don't get that. My feedback's clean. So I got an Echo Swift 4.5 by 6.5 envelope, nothing special. I put the postcard in a sleeve, a brand new sleeve, no markings on it, so I can put it right in their collection, and I put that in the envelope. And I've sold thousands and thousands of cards, and I don't get any comments about bad shipping. Everybody leaves comments about good shipping. So don't base your feedback that you're shipping the greatest. Everybody says great shipping, fast shipping, great shipping, fast shipping. Everybody's feedback in eBay. It's the ones that say he packed it with too much stuff, too much tape. Tape should not be around anything with paper. Neil tells me that at Calamity Photo. If you're working with ephemera, you shouldn't have tape on your desk. I think that's what he said one time, Neil. Jump in if you can. But tape should not be around. If you're putting, sticking it to a cardboard and putting tape on it, it's going to pull off. Color or whatever. I don't care if it's painter's tape or whatever. You just put it in a mylar sleeve, the way they bought it, the way you scanned it, stick it in one of those 250 GSM, that's how they do the envelopes, and you let it go. But anything, he's right, anything over $20 is above eBay standard envelope. I use a little box. I don't sell a lot of those, but I have these boxes because I don't want to play the game of it's a flat or whatever. If it's over $20, it's calculated shipping. And if they buy a lot of cards, I'll put them in a box. I'll eat the $2 of shipping in a box. It's a good presentation. Haven't had any problems. They don't cost much, and I don't do it that often. But when people spend extra money, I'll give them a little extra. But I don't put, there's no reason to use a top loader, rigid or semi, on a $4 or $5 card. You're losing money, is what I tell people. And you're spending too much time shipping. If I sell 20 cards, 20 minutes, I'm done. If I sell 30 cards, 30 minutes is in my head. So I got 10 cards here to pack up. 10, 15 minutes, I'm done. I've already pulled them, so they won't take that long. I just got to make sure I put the right one in the right envelope and stuff. It's not that hard. So, but I think he's looking to see how I do it. So I appreciate Carlos. Ask these questions like this, and I'll tell you my opinion. Other people will too. But don't overthink things, the best, but just ask questions. And I'll show you what I do. You can do whatever you want, but I'm just one that says, this is what I do and this is what I've learned. Now, if someone comes back and says something different, heck yeah, I'll change if it helps me. I have no problem with that. I'm not an expert shipper. Thanks again, Carlos and Biff. And the next one is, where did you get the stamp you use on the envelopes when mailing postcard stamp? Oh, the stamp. I was thinking mailing stamp. So this is from Vistaprint. It's right here, and it's the large one, self-inking stamp, and you can find it on there under stamps on there and stuff like that. But Vistaprint is where I get them. It's just, they got my logo there, and I get a lot of stuff from Vistaprint. But what it does, oh, I did it upside down, but I can turn it. So it stamps on the back of every postcard I mail out. I put the eBay standard envelope here. Of course, I put the postcard inside, self-sealing, seal it, and then on the back, I stamp it with my name. I don't put stickers, thank you, and all that stuff inside. All I do is just stamp it. This thing will do like 20,000 stamps before. Now it says, and I just used it, postcard.com, SMPostcards.com, variety of collectible postcards. That's our local thing. Then I put 50,000 plus postcards in to choose from. I had to put something there. Open carefully, postcards inside. Now it's got 50,000 on there. I got 54,000 listings. That tells you how long I've had this stamp, and I'll keep using the stamp. I'm not worried about 50,000, whatever. I use it until it runs out of ink, and I'll buy another. I think they're $20 to $25, but I don't. It's just real simple. I tried to put the little QR code in there, but they don't stamp well, so it looks like little Chinese characters. But I'm not. It's something to try. But yeah, Vistaprint works well. I stamp everything, stamp the boxes, and they see it's SM Postcards. Works on. Now the ink doesn't dry as fast when they first get them. So what I do is when I stamp it, I put it on my little shelf over here on the door where I put my postcards. I'll put it upside down for a little bit, and it dries pretty fast. But if you put it on top of each other right after you stamp it, you might get some red ink or whatever color ink onto your label. So just be careful of that, because with the Echo Swiss, it's a semi-gloss coating, so it takes a while to dry. It's not the inker, it's the paper that you're stamping on. Thanks. If anybody has any questions about stuff I use, or you see something, let me know. So the last question for today, are you concerned with the number of postcards currently listed on eBay? It used to be 7 to 8 million, 8 to 9 million. Now it's like 10 million postcards or whatever out there. No, I'm not really concerned. It just tells that there's a lot of supply. We just want the demand to get up there. I've seen it go up and down. You know, people get into postcards, then they leave. They get into it. Some people are automating things and putting 10,000 postcards a month up. That's fine. You're going to sell. If you put 10,000 postcards up on eBay, you're going to sell 5–10% of them. But the other ones, they're all going to go through the cycle, and they're all going to end up long term. So it's just initial push and then go through. And so if you're putting that many up, you got to find that many and do, you know, you're paying for it, but you are going to sell that. It's just gets more cards out there. It's competition. You can't control it. You know, things. I really don't look at it that often. I just do what I do. Reputation is a big one. By shipping 1 or 2 days, you back everything up, good price, and stuff like that. That's when people will come back. Those are the people you want. Yeah, you're going to get some other people coming in and stuff like that when they're searching, but with that many postcards out there, it'll average itself out. So you can't change it. People are doing what you're doing. You know, I sell it one way, you sell it another way. One time someone told me, well, it's not fair. There's no fair in this. If I can buy my stuff cheaper and put it out there cheaper, then I win. Or not all the time. You might have better cards. But if you can buy stuff cheaper and keep your expenses down and have the time to do it, then that's how you get up on the competition. Not that I want people to lose their business and go out of business. There's room for everybody. As I always said, the more competition, the better. It keeps people honest. So if you're pricing above market value and these other guys are coming in, you're trying to race to the bottom. I keep mine steady. I'm selling cards here, I'm getting my margins, and my expenses are very low. So just watch it. We'll see how the market goes, but I wouldn't lose sleep over all those automated and a lot of people getting into it. It's a good thing, people get into it. It's a good thing to have. Would it take business from me? I can't measure that, so I would think so. I don't think that's why my sales are up and down like this. I think there's other reasons. It could be a part of it, but that's just speculation, and I don't like to do that unless you give me some data. But there's 10 million postcards listed on eBay right now. It goes up and down. And then when they get off of it and close their store, there'll be 9 million. Then be 8 million. Then be 7 million. Then be 8 million. Then be 9 million. You know, what is the new average number of postcards? So I just deal with things that I can change. Birthstone Postcards. Let me know what you think about those. Have you sold some of those? I don't have a lot of experience in them, like I said, and I like digging into stuff like this that I just don't know a lot about. Not to become an expert, it's just to have a little bit more knowledge when I go to look for stuff, and I hope this helps you guys. That's all I got for today. Got some more fishing for you. Got some new ones. Thanks. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.